Buenos días, soy Leslie Foster de Common Ground International and bienvenidos a Maestro Miércoles. So glad that you are either watching this live or I know how busy your days are, your teaching schedule. So if you want to catch it later on, be sure to. This lesson is all about conferencias de padres y maestros, or reuniones de padres y maestros. And there is so much information, you guys, as I've been preparing this lesson for you and going to my own kids' conferencias, I realized, holy cow, if you don't know a lot of Spanish, there's a lot of Spanish that you could use to be able to communicate with your Spanish-speaking only families that you have to conference with. So we're going to break this apart for the next several weeks, and I apologize if I'm a little late. Conferences in this area where I'm coming at you live from Colorado start next week. So hopefully this is timely for you and you guys can use it. Again, please use the comment box below and let me know exactly what you need. I'd be happy to feed you that vocabulario or the expressions, and so glad that you guys are taking the steps to improve your communication in your classroom with your students and with your families, their parents, your students' parents, and their guardians. So excited for you. Muchas gracias. So hoy vamos a hablar de reuniones de padres y maestros, específicamente las destrezas académicas, destrezas, strengths, okay? Y áreas para mejorar, or las dificultades, okay? The weaknesses or areas for improvement. Hablando del campo académico. So we're talking about academic strengths and weaknesses. Y algunos de ustedes asked about vocabulary that you need in order to talk about standardized exams, pruebas estandarizadas. So median, mode, percentage, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to throw some of that vocabulary at you, and hopefully you have it in enough time to use it with your conferencias de padres y maestros. So let's get started. Okay. Aquí la tercera, hablando acerca de las evaluaciones. Muy bien. Okay, una pregunta para ustedes. ¿Cuál es su estructura en las conferencias? What structure, what format do you have when you run your parent-teacher conferences? I know that, for example, middle school, this is a new thing for my middle schoolers, but they're doing student-led conferences. How many, put it in the comment box, how many of you do student-led conferences? Okay, that way, your student may be able to communicate in Spanish with their abuelos or padres or tutores that are at the conference with them, and that would be great. But if you don't do student-led conferences and you have to use all this vocabulary, we're going to go through that today. So I was thinking through my own conference experience, and when I go to my own kids' conferences, there are kind of 6 areas, and there's probably more, but 6 areas came to my mind in my conference format, and I'm curious to know what other areas you need to know about or you use in your conferences as well. So, número 1, el rendimiento académico. El rendimiento académico, okay, where you talk about destrezas y dificultades, okay. Las evaluaciones, pruebas estandarizadas, reading, proficiency exams, writing, math proficiency, okay. Comportamiento, behavior, always comes up durante las conferencias. Okay, los hábitos de estudio, work or study habits también. Metas para los estudiantes. Some parents, some teachers set goals for their students for the next couple months after parent-teacher conferences. Or un plan de acción, an action plan, okay, to implement some changes and help motivate some changes if those students need it. Y siempre hay preguntas de los papás or los tutores, guardians. So we are going to talk about these in bold right now, el rendimiento académico y las evaluaciones. In the next couple of weeks, I'll come back at you with how to talk about comportamiento bueno y malo, y preguntas de los padres, y hábitos de estudio. So be sure to comment, use the comment box, and let me know exactly what you need, okay? Excelente. Okay. After you guys know this, after seeing my videos, I always say empezar con lo positivo, to start with the positive, okay? It sets the tone for the meeting. It lets parents know, especially with those difficult kids, lets parents know that there are some things that their child is good at, and it just brings the tension down a little bit if there is tension. So, importante empezar con lo positivo, okay? So, todos tienen destrezas académicas y áreas para mejorar distintas. Todas las personas son diferentes, tenemos cosas muy fuertes y muy débiles. We all have our certain strengths and weaknesses. Students, adults, teachers, whatever profession you are, okay? Same with students. So, es importante empezar con las destrezas, the strengths, okay? Las destrezas académicas. So you can talk about them in a simple format, which we're going to start with, if you have a low level of Espanol, and then I'm going to give you some longer expressions if you have a higher level of Spanish that you can grab from this lesson and use. Okay, so su hijo or hija, your son or daughter, hijo, son, hija, daughter, está progresando bien, okay? Or a nivel, so they're progressing really well, or they're progressing at level, right where they need to be, okay? Progresando bien. Su hijo, hija, está listo, okay, para la clase, ready for class, or listo para aprender, ready to learn. Su hijo, hija, está bien preparada. They're really well prepared for classes. So these are some things that you can maybe start with. These are pretty básico, but they're progressing well, they're ready to learn, and they're ready for class, and they're prepared. Okay? Otros, if you need even más básicos, you can talk about características of your estudiantes that are positivas. Okay? So su hijo, su hija es, okay, that would be the expression they use. Su hija es creativa. If it's a girl, creativa. Trabajadora, so creative, a hard worker. Cuidadosa, careful, okay? Honesto, honest. Independiente, independent. Curioso, curiosa, okay? Inteligente. Organizado. Obediente en la clase, respetuoso, respetuosa, estudioso, so respectful, studious, aplicado, very well applied in la clase. Okay, so here's some other buenos adjetivos que pueden usar para describir a sus estudiantes y las destrezas académicas positivas. Okay. Aquí son algunas frases más grandes. So for those of you that know a little bit more Spanish or have an intermediate higher level of Spanish, and you feel comfortable using these, go ahead and grab these para usar en su clase. So su hijo, hija, es capaz de trabajar or de jugar independientemente. Es capaz is capable of working or playing independently. Es capaz de is actually really good expression to know, is capable of. So I'm going to write it down right here. Es capaz de is capable of. Okay. Su hijo le interesa hacerlo bien. So your child is interested in doing it well, in doing a good job. Okay. Hacerlo bien, doing it well. Su hijo entiende, understands, y establece metas, establishes goals. Okay, so understands and establishes goals. Su hijo desea aprender cosas nuevas. So really desires to learn new things, is always looking for that next challenge, new thing to learn. Su hijo pide ayuda cuando es necesario. So ask for help. Pide ayuda. Ask for help cuando es necesario. That means they're taking responsabilidad para sus lecciones, para aprender en la clase. Y trabaja bien en grupos, works well in grupos. We talked a little bit about that last week, okay? Y admite errores y es capaz de seguir adelante. So admits errors, and again, this expression, es capaz de, is capable of continuing on, of following along, of continuing in their learning process. Es capaz de. Again, una buena expresión, es capaz de. Okay? Tenemos más, por supuesto. Su hijo toma buenas decisiones en la clase. Makes really good decisions in clase. Toma buenas decisiones. Ok, ahora vamos a transicionar a las dificultades. Difficulties, weaknesses, challenges in el rendimiento académico. Okay, and so this sometimes is harder to talk about when trying to stay positive. So I have a couple formats I'm going to throw at you, and you can pick the way to express that you feel is most comfortable for you, your personality, what you've established in the classroom. So first of all, I'm going to use su hijo necesita, so needs to. These would be areas for improvement, áreas para mejorar, to improve, okay? Su hijo necesita seguir instrucciones. So your child needs to follow, seguir instrucciones, okay? That could be an área para mejorar. Su hijo necesita prestar atención, to pay attention. Otra buena expresión, prestar atención. Su hijo necesita respetar a los otros estudiantes. Respetar, to respect a los otros estudiantes en la clase. Su hijo necesita leer todas las noches. Súper importante para escuela primaria, in the early learning years, kinder, first, second, third, you can keep going, but reading every night, okay? 20 minutos, 30 minutos. Su hijo necesita entregar la tarea, turn in la tarea, or necesita hacer, do the homework, hacer, do the homework, okay? So again, this is a good expression for you guys to know. Su hijo necesita, or su hija necesita. Your child needs to, and then you can fill in the blank. Notice after necesita, the verbo seguir, prestar, respetar, leer, entregar are all in the infinitivo, unconjugated, okay? Because you have two verbs in a row. So necesita seguir. So this is actually a pretty great expression for you guys to follow, a pretty great format or pattern. Su hijo or hija necesita seguir instrucciones, okay? And then I'm going to break it right here. Su hijo tiene dificultad para ser organizado or organizada. So has problems being organized. Tiene dificultad. Another muy buena expresión. Voy a escribirlo aquí. No tengo mucho espacio. Pero su hijo necesita seguir y su hijo tiene dificultad. Okay? Para is kind of what you're going to use, followed by a verb. So tiene dificultad para. Has a difficult time, okay? Otra buena expresión. Vamos a ver otro ejemplo. Su hijo tiene dificultad para trabajar con otros. So has difficulty working with others. This is otra área para mejorar, okay? Muy bien, vamos a continuar, okay? Now, este es más fuerte, okay? Because we're just going to say your child does not do and you may or may not like to be this strong in your language, so you can choose, but there's ways to suavizarlo, to soften it a little bit. So, su hijo, su hija no trabaja independientemente. Okay, so they don't work independently. I would reserve these for like kids that maybe never display these traits or characteristics, and they really need to work on it, okay? So, su hijo no trabaja independientemente. Su hijo no sigue instrucciones. They do not follow instructions, okay? No establece metas. They don't set goals, okay? No trabaja bien en grupos. They don't work well in groups. No se concentra. He or she does not concentrate, okay, in clase or in los proyectos or in los grupos, in whole language or whole group instruction, in parejas. You can add more to that. No participa en la clase, does not participate in class. No toma buenas decisiones. No usa la palabra para resolver problemas, so doesn't use words to resolve problems. This is going to tie into next week. We're going to talk about behavior. So this would be a good one to remember for that. No usa las palabras para resolver problemas, okay? No ayuda a los otros en la clase, doesn't help others in la clase. Y llega tarde a la clase, okay? So, there we go. Llega tarde a la clase. Okay, so there's some áreas, some expressions to that you can use when you're talking about las áreas para mejorar, to improve. Okay. Ahora vamos a transicionar a las evaluaciones. Now, yo no sé si ustedes usan el WIDA en la clase, en escuela primaria. Lots of dual language immersion or bilingual schools use this, and it is para evaluar desempeño lingüístico in English. So, proficiency levels in English. So, this is just an example, but you have the forma de lenguaje, you have escuchar, hablar, leer. This is kind of hard to see, so I'll include the link in my notes. Escribir, lenguaje oral, so oral language, capacidad de leer y escribir, the ability to read and write, okay, comprender, y the global score, or what they're compared to, okay? So, here is el vocabulario para hablar de las pruebas estandarizadas that you might need to know. I'm just going to give it to you real quick, but porcentaje is the percentage, where they are, what percentile they're in. Media is the median, okay? The average. Promedio, average. Rango is the range. Maybe you're talking about los niveles de leer, the reading levels, and they need to be in the reading level, in the rango de los niveles de leer. Necesitan empezar con la letra, primer grado en la letra I. First grade, they're going to start in the books with the letter I, and al final del primer grado necesitan estar in N, okay, letra M. So ese es el rango from I to N or E to N. Okay. Calificación is the score. Nivel. So nivel is the level. So they're either reading at a nivel alto or nivel bajo or nivel perfecto para donde están en el año escolar, or the perfect level for where they're at right now in the school year. So nivel, remember, that's the level. Alto or bajo, high or low, okay? Nivel del desempeño lingüístico. So again, we're talking about specifically in this case the WIDA or whatever other pruebas estandarizadas that you use to evaluate linguistic proficiency, okay, in Inglés or Español. Escala de puntaje is the score scale or the scale score, what you're measuring, then the number, okay, and una medida is a measure, the measurement. Muy bien, so esas son las palabras, el vocabulario que necesitan para las pruebas estandarizadas. If you have more that you need to know, again, add it to the comment section. I'll be sure to give you that vocabulario. Okay, now we're going to transition otra vez. Todavía estamos hablando de las evaluaciones, pero vamos a hablar de las evaluaciones de lectoescritura, so literacy evaluations. What are some good expressions that you can use with your parents or their guardians to explain their literacy level and how they're being evaluated right now? So these are, for those of you that have a little bit higher level, grab these and use them. For those of you that don't, grab these and learn them and use them. Pero su hijo or hija, your son or daughter, entiende el lenguaje, entiende, understands the language, written language, lenguaje escrito, okay, y los temas frecuentes, and frequent themes. So when they're reading, they understand the written language and common themes throughout the text, okay. Su hijo puede participar en discusiones en las clases, so they can use their oral vocabulario para participar en discusiones. Su hijo puede clasificar las ideas, so classify or put to order las ideas, y ejemplos principales in información escrita, so they can put main ideas down in paper, on paper, okay? Puede contestar preguntas acerca del texto. They can answer questions about the text, okay? Su hijo o hija puede volver a contar el cuento. Volver a contar, we talk about retell. Can they retell? Are they able to summarize or retell to a friend the story? So, volver a contar is how you say retell. Puede hablar de eventos en el orden correcto y lógico. So they can talk about order of events and put them in the right order and in a logical order also, okay? So, unos ejemplos para describir las evaluaciones de lectoescritura. Tenemos unos más aquí. Vamos. Su hijo disfruta de la lectura, so enjoys reading. Okay. Reconoce palabras de alta frecuencia. Here's how you say high frequency words in español. Palabras de alta frecuencia. Reconoce is recognizes. You know, you can put specific recognizes the, and, of, my, okay? Or you can give them the lista de palabras de alta frecuencia que necesitan aprender, okay? Su hijo, hija puede seguir instrucciones escritas. They can follow written instructions. Puede hacer predicciones. They can make predictions about the text basándose en el texto. Puede leer con precisión. Okay, they're very fluid and they're precise in their pronunciation and decoding. Okay, tiene ideas creativas y imaginativas. Okay, so they have creative, imaginary ideas. Y hace conexiones. They make personal conexiones personales con el texto. They're able to connect the text that they're reading with their vida real. Okay, so again, comment below if you use these expressions when you're talking about literacy evaluations or reading levels or writing. And tell me what else you need to know also. Muy bien. Ahora vamos, yo escogí dos campos de evaluaciones, uno de lectoescritura, otro de matemáticas. Okay, I know that there's so many other things to evaluate, science, and there's lots of Spanish teachers in this group, so evaluating their Spanish and stuff like that, but I just chose literacy and math because I was thinking in the early years en la escuela primaria. So vamos a hablar de las evaluaciones de las matemáticas, okay? And aquí son unos ejemplos. Hay muchos más out there. What you need to do is figure out what you need to know how to say in Spanish and include it in the comment box, and I'll be sure to respond. Su hijo ve y entiende patrones. So they see and understand patrones are patterns. You can talk about patrones lingüísticos, patrones de matemática, patrones en ciencias. Okay, just patterns are good phrase for you to know, word for you to know. Entiende conceptos matemáticos y puede aplicarlos al mundo real. So they understand mathematical concepts and they can apply it to the mundo real, our real world, right here. Utiliza y entiende el vocabulario matemático. So they're fluente, tiene fluidez matemático. They're able to talk about sumar, restar, adding, subtraction, and they know all that mathematical vocabulary. Okay. Recuerda datos matemáticos. They remember mathematical data. Puede resolver operaciones matemáticas mentalmente. Pueden hacer matemáticas mentalmente. Mental math aquí. Okay. excelente. Yo tiene mucho vocabulario en su dirección, and your job now is to use it, to apply it. Remember, it does not matter if you are trying to if you have a low level or intermediate level of Spanish and you're just trying to communicate with your students and their parents. It doesn't matter if you're making mistakes. What matters is that you're having the effort to communicate. So, su reto profesional, your professional challenge aquí es cómo van a aplicar este vocabulario en sus conferencias de padres y maestros, okay? So think about how you're going to apply this vocabulary in your parent-teacher conferences this week or next week or whenever they are, okay? In unos días, I say vuelven en unos días, but I would say more like a week. Come back to this Facebook page and I'll have all this vocabulary linked up for you, and you can just download it and you can rewatch this lesson as well, okay? And arriesguense, risk it, abran las bocas y cometan errores, make mistakes. Just get out there and use your language and tell me how it's going. Comment below. Muchas gracias por su tiempo hoy y nos vemos el próximo miércoles. Hasta luego.